About to begin your Freebay episode. Let's give thanks to Ridgeline Counseling. That's our buddy, Dr. David Markwell. He's awesome. You got somebody to talk to. Doesn't matter where you're at in the country, markwelltherapy.com, or you can email him, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. He's got 10 therapists that work there. He's based out of Georgia, actually got 3 locations. One across from Sprayberry High School, Sandy Plains, East Cobb, Marietta near the square, and McCaysville outside of Blue Ridge. But like I said, doesn't matter where you're at in the country, he'll do virtual sessions with you. markwelltherapy.com. Inspect All Pest Services. They are servicing Metro Atlanta and the surrounding area, providing the highest quality termite pest and wildlife control. They are the best. Plus, they can take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and more. InspectAllServices.com. Tell them the BS sent you. The Mad Dog Manny Aurora. If you're in trouble, and I know a lot of you are, or possibly could be, when that day comes, he litigates all over the United States. Based out of Georgia, criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, and more. The Aurora Law Firm.com. The Mad Dog himself. All right, let's start. All right. 3, 2, and a 1.
What do we want to talk about?
Be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's
BS.
That's BS.
BS. Yes. That's BS.
Okay, man, let's do it.
All right, there it is, episode 183 of your Freebay episode. It's the BS podcast. Thanks for being here. My name's, well, it's kind of Jason Bailey. I'll get to that here in a second for you audio listeners. Right there, the most hated man on the internet. That is B-Man Branden Thrasher. Hello, Brandon.
But I didn't know we were wearing costumes. I would have put my monkey suit on.
Well, hold on. We'll get to it. And then there's the Iron Fisted one himself, Chuck Lunsford. Hello, Chuck.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Yeah, well, I pity the fool who doesn't get part of the BS podcast and subbing. Subs for subs. What do you think of the get up, man? I got the overalls. I got the jean overalls. I decided to go red, white, and blue sleeveless shirt. I know Mr. T usually wore a red like tank top underneath. I'd bought one. I just don't like it. I've got this very expensive gold chain collection around my neck. And then the mohawk, which I think really sets it off. It's even got the side things.
I mean, you should have probably went to a pawn shop and got some like real fake gold necklaces, if that makes any sense. Real fake.
Custom jewelry is what you're.
Yeah.
We here at the BS podcast, we are on what they call a budget. So what I could do, yeah, a big one. So the best I could do were Mardi Gras beads, gold Mardi Gras beads. That's what these are. But here's the character. I'm Subber Lang. So I've mixed both Mr. T A-Team and B.A. Baracus with Clubber Lang, Mr. T Rocky, into Subber Lang because of Subs for Subs with Capriati's Sandwich Shop, which, by the way, you only have a couple more days. This is the Freebay episode. This is the last Freebay episode you're going to get to remind you to subscribe to the BS podcast on thebaileyshow.com. And then at the end of this week, myself, my buddy Jesse's coming with me, and Capriati's Sandwich Shop. Scott, the owner, we're going out to the streets of Sacramento, and we're handing out a amazing Capriati sub to a person in need. And right now, he's sweating bullets because this has gone great. So far, so good. Great. We've gotten a lot new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you. And I know a lot of you two peers, you OG subscribers, told people because I was getting notes and seeing posts. That's great. So bam. Actually, we were getting subscribers just based off of how good Capriati's Sandwich Shop is. Now, you might not have gone to the one in Folsom, but I know for you Georgia folks, you're going to the one in Kennesaw. I saw somebody in Florida went over and found a Capriati's Sandwich Shop, and they subscribed to the podcast just because the sub is so good. They got that Wagyu cheesesteak that I was bragging about.
Oh, I saw that, Mr. Chris Waters. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Now, are you guys catering to the? Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
No, that was it. Just his wife got the Italian. It was, gripping content I had to get in there.
Well, I was wondering about, are you guys going to be catering to the vegetarian homeless?
You know what, Chuck? That's such a great question. You should have not asked.
What? I mean, it's California, man.
That's true.
You know, there might be some vegetarians out there that are like, I don't want your stupid wagyu. I want,
what I
artichokes and kale.
That's what I was saying last week, man. You might get in trouble. Someone might be allergic and they might sue you, and then they might just take your house.
To what, bread?
Well, speaking of, 10 minutes before the recording of this episode, we got a verbal offer on the house.
Well, that'll probably fall.
Wow.
No, it's not. It's not gonna fall apart. No, it's not gonna fall apart. Yeah. So, the offer couldn't be, well, it could be better, but for all intents and purposes, it's perfect. And I mean, that means that the Bailey household is rocking and rolling and moving forward real fast and real soon to our next destination. I sure the hell can tell you it's not here. And we're very excited about it.
Has the pod been booked yet?
It's been booked 3 different times and pushed back.
Oh, that sucks.
And Michael, the mover guy that we did, we were talking about on an episode, the guy that I took like a year, I lost his number and I finally tracked him down. I'm waiting for him to text me back. Actually, I'm like, you available this Saturday? Please say you're available this Saturday. So yeah, I've been rescheduling and pushing back. And it's funny because I, last Friday was going to push the pod back. And this whole episode is going to morph into one thought. And it's really, Branden knows this, whether he believes it or not, I don't know. The people that have been around me for a long period of time, they like to ignore it. They call me crazy. They call me paranoid. They call me Batman. They call me these things because I can Nostradamus a situation. I can call cards. I can predict the future. I know when I'm getting fired. I know it in advance. I tell people don't believe me. I tell people these things about the future and they don't believe me. Branden, you've seen it, right?
Yep. I was here for a couple of them, and well, I guess your worst one was your most recent move, but for the most part, you're pretty spot on.
Right. No. You're just saying that for conversation's sake. This is a black and white conversation. It is literally, I am spot on. There has not been one prediction that I've made that has been false.
Well, you predicted California would be the land of God, glory, and gold or whatever, and that kind of fell apart.
I never said that. Never said that. Just because I was a dum-dum and took the gig, that's a conversation for another day. In about 78-ish days, we can have that conversation. But that's for another time. I never said that. I went into this opportunity with optimism, a lot of it, overly optimistic, practically lying to myself, to be honest with you. Again, in about 78-ish days, I'll tell the whole story. But this one is great. Unfortunately, it had to kind of wrap around in very unfortunate situation. So I'm going to morph this all into one thought. My father-in-law is in the hospital. If you've seen our social media, you know what's going on. So the other day, my wife goes to work, and within 10 minutes of her leaving the house, Rach says to me, she calls, she's bawling, she's crying. And I'm like, oh my God, car wreck, what happened? And she says, my dad's in the hospital. And I said, what happened? And she says, he's got chest pains, heart pains. And I was like, okay, well, he's alive, he's breathing, right? And she says, yes, but Poppy doesn't go to the hospital. And he's a real man, right? He's OG. Chuck, like everything Distinct Grace's video Warren is about is what Poppy is, right?
He's getting his arm cut off, and he's like, I'm going to go grab a Band-Aid and throw it on there. I'll be all right.
He's that guy, much respect. And unfortunately, times have changed and there's not enough of those guys anymore. So Poppy's that guy. So that's why she was flipping out, and rightfully so, but I couldn't flip out with her. I had to keep her calm. So, this is how much of a warrior Poppy is. Poppy was feeling heart problems, wasn't feeling himself the night before, goes to bed, gets up the next morning, goes to work, still feeling like that. gets into work and says, I can't take it anymore. Does he go right to the hospital? No. He goes home so he and his wife can go to the hospital. Right? Now, some might chalk it up and go, well, that's dumb. That's just a different mindset. If you don't know it, you don't get it, you're not going to understand it. So he
So
goes,
I'll just go home and eat some Tums and get a Diet Coke. I'll be good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
probably. Yeah, probably. So they get to the hospital and they give him an EKG and said, you had a heart attack. You had a heart attack and we have to get you into surgery immediately. We have to do open heart surgery on you. So they get him into surgery immediately. While this,
damn.
yeah,
Oh, they open heart, like serious heart attack.
yeah, I'll get to the as much as I know and what I think I know actually. So
Yeah.
while this is taking place, Rach comes to me and she says, I gotta get to Orlando. I said, done. So I run upstairs and I book a flight for her and Bees to get to Orlando. Now, we're on the other side of the country. We're almost 2,700 miles from Orlando. There's no direct flights. It's a real pain in the ass to fly from Sacramento to Orlando. So the best and fastest flight was through Salt Lake City with a layover, red eye into Orlando the next morning at like 6 a.m. It worked out. It was fine. She gets there. By that time, when they got in to do surgery, they were unclogging arteries. They realized that they had to do like 5 or 6 arteries. I mean, they were taking veins from his leg and moving them up to his chest. I mean, it was crazy what they had to do. Medical technology is absolutely amazing, right? Just amazing, the rundown of this surgery, which I think is a pretty, normal surgery for somebody in that situation, right?
I mean, were they using like robots and stuff to go in and they use the robots now to do all those vein transfers and clearing out the heart and all that stuff?
You're talking about the surgery for my wife's father-in-law. Did they use robots to go in to do the open heart?
Yeah.
No, actually, there are these very small people that were at the hospital. We got lucky. The mini Kiss was in town, and so they gave them some medical equipment, and they went right up the butt, and they were able to fix Poppy up.
That's not what I mean. You know what I mean? Like the robot, they have like they put you know what?
Yeah, Willy Wonka was in there for high cholesterol, so the Oompa Loompas just happened to be there also.
Oh my god. Oompa Loompa.
Want to do surgery all night and party every day.
Dicks, man. You know what whatever. So they used people, obviously, to do the surgery.
Cyborgs.
Will Smith was in town, and they used his arm. He and Arnold Schwarzenegger went in and did surgery on my father-in-law. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I'm assuming they did. I don't know. I have no idea, Chuck, how they did the actual surgery. So anyway, Poppy's in surgery for like 5 or 6 hours. And, we're flipping out this entire time. We're just a mess, and he's, again, one of those guys. And he says to Rachel, like at the beginning of this whole thing, he goes, we're not here forever. I'm like, why would you say that? Please don't. But that's just such a old school dude thing. Like, I have so much respect for that, right? It's not fearing the unknown. You take what you're given, and you're gonna fight whatever it is that you need to fight. Like, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So be it. He's a man of faith. I'm going to a better place, right? It's just,
yeah.
There's something about that. It's just so, I don't know. It's, you know what I mean? It's just,
yeah. I mean, we're all dying, right? It's one of those where, it is what it is. And when it happens, but it's really hard. You can say that your entire life until you're actually like there, like knocking on the door. And then it's like, hey man, remember that time you were all about like, if it happens, it happens. You're like, no, I'm good. I want you to save my ass. I'm thinking I need some surgery.
I think I have in my will, DNR.
Oh,
I don't think that can that be in your will? Then you're already dead, right?
no, I think he's talking about like it's in your medical record, right? Like, so if they like are on your driver's license, then go on your driver's license, there's a do not resuscitate or something.
I think it's just a donor on there.
I remember when I did my will, they asked me that question. Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's like if I've I've got to like be Terry Schiavo, up to equipment, and that's the only way I want to live. Like just in order for me, I definitely requested the helium balloons because I definitely was behind me in the pictures. But I think I put in that, if that's the way I'm going to live, don't wait for the miracle. Just cut it off and let me go. So I
How
have,
long though? How long? I mean, aren't you afraid? Like you're just gonna be like I don't know. You fall asleep and your heart rate goes down a little bit, and they just like, well, he's dead. Screw it.
Get
I
the
mean, is
organs
there like
out,
a
throw 'em in a
time
hole.
limit?
yeah, I don't know. They didn't ask me a time. It's just they said check a box. That's all they did. I was like, okay. They're like, yeah, I don't want to bother anybody. I even told Rach, I said, if I ever get in that situation, even if I get sick, I'm not wasting money and time and people's lives, being at the hospital, taking care. I don't want that. Just let me go. Let me go.
What?
Yeah, I'm not paying people ridiculous amounts of money for something that might not work, right?
Yeah, but I'm always like thinking like you could wake up in a like out of a coma and then you have amnesia. Like, how cool would that be? Like, I've never believed it was real, but I mean, if there's a chance that I can have amnesia in my life, I kind of want it because then you can do whatever you want and you're good.
All right, I'm changing the paperwork tomorrow. It's good. I like the Indian.
We need a little revision.
I'm just gonna, so I don't have to pay the attorney. I'm just gonna write next to it and sign it. Like, look, instead of letting me die, if, for example, I am promised to have amnesia, keep me alive forever. Rachel has no say in this part of the will. Love, Jason M. Bailey.
Yeah, and maybe take you to Singapore or something, Thailand, because you
Lot
do
cheaper.
whatever.
And you see the
Yeah.
world,
You don't gotta work.
you probably get a little rub and tug while you're out there too.
They'll make a rom-com about you. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, reviving Bailey. I love it.
Well, you can name yourself whatever you want. You don't even have a show or anything. You don't know what you're doing. Be whoever you want, man. You can go out with that. And if you got an accident in that outfit, imagine when you woke up, you'd be like, who the hell am I? I'm a weirdo.
Actually, truth be told, I died. I have no recollection of anything before today, and I woke up like this, dressed as Subber Lang. So this is who I am from now on, and I need to be addressed as Subber Lang from now on.
Yeah.
I pity the fool who doesn't subscribe to the BS podcast, thebaileyshow.com. Subber Lang. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't want to fly.
That'd be a great existence.
Yeah, you like that? I like that. Anyway, so we get her on the flight. She gets there. Poppy's doing fine. He's recovering. Again, he's a pain in the ass in the hospital because he's the OG, right? He's like, get me out of this damn place, that kind of thing. And he's actually up the day after or 2 days after. He was up and walking, not by himself, but they were helping him. He was walking around, get him out of the bed, get everything going. He had a rough first night or two. And then they're gonna move him to a different room, which is good. And then so on and so forth. Rach comes back and life's good. So back to the beginning of this conversation about me Nostradamusing this situation, as Poppy was, as we were getting good news from the heart surgery with Poppy, I told Rach, I said, what if, unfortunately, it had to be like this, but what if Poppy had a heart attack? You had to quickly fly to Orlando, leave me behind with the 5 dogs, all for a reason. And she goes, what's the, oh. And I said, what if we get a contract on the house this weekend? And she goes, oh. And you're now in Orlando. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Working. Magic is being worked.
Right. She can do things that we need her to do. And then it's just like everything happens for a reason. Not that, it's kind of sucks that Poppy had to, have a heart attack for this whole thing to come to fruition, but it's kind of coming about like that. And it's all playing out as Bailey Stradamus predicted.
What are you doing? Illuminati sacrifices over there to sell your damn house?
No, again, it's so weird. The market on the West Coast, and I lump everybody together. I'm not like, I know that I've gained some listeners from the West Coast for doing radio here in a year. I mean, probably not a huge amount, but I know there are people that listen to me on the radio, enjoyed the show. And actually I meet them almost on a daily basis whenever I'm in the poker room and it comes up. They're like, what happened to that? I liked that show. They weren't as diehard as they were in Atlanta, of course, or even in Orlando, but they're like, what happened? Now they're just so used to getting jerked around in this city of like, oh, new show, it's gone. That's radio. That's our lives. You know, that's, again, I could go off on a tangent, and that's the problem with radio, but we had more fans than I thought we did. You know, like I'm meeting people that listened, you know, because they never got me out. So, you know, now that I'm out more now, you know, doing things, I'm meeting people that would listen to the show, and they're like, they're even talking about different things that we did and conversations that we had and things that they liked and things that made them laugh and all these types of things. And kind of makes me sad, right? Because I'm like, I could have really super served that audience. I mean, you give us time, we would have crushed in this market. There's no doubt about it. It's a very easy market to win. There's not a lot that's great on the dial. Let's just put it that way. And they haven't been used to anything good, especially from a bigger market guy coming to a smaller market. We could have done really well. And I feel bad for these people. And so I'm like, of course I tell them, go to thebaileyshow.com, get the podcast. If you liked the radio show, you're going to like this. This is 10 times better. You know, you don't have to deal with all the junk in between and all that stuff. So I think we've got an audience from that. There's no doubt about it. But it's like one of those things where when I'm telling these people about how this works and moving forward, and they were like, did you know that this was going to go away? I was like, dude. And then I try to convince them, like I'm trying to convince Chuck right now. I saw it coming. I saw it coming 8 months before. Like I saw it a long time ago. But the market out here is a little bit different. These people, their mindset, the way they buy houses is odd. They buy houses, guys walk in, and if the outlet's too low, I think I'm not buying the house. This house is priced $5,000 over than what I want to pay. Negotiate, dumbass. Move the outlet. Like they don't want to do any of these types of things.
Could you change the angles on the roof? I don't like the way that they're facing the road.
What kind of pitch is that up there?
Well, those types of like, yeah, I mean, picky. I'm talking about they're so minuscule and they're so little. Like, you know, we don't have a yard. We don't have a backyard. We bought this house on purpose for not having a yard because I did not want to do the keep up of the yard. Granted, I miss it. I made a mistake, especially with 5 dogs. So I put in artificial grass and all that stuff. So yeah, that was one of many mistakes that I've made this past year. They have a kid, they want a yard. I'm like, well, there's a park 5 minutes walking distance up the street. Go to the park. I can't do anything about the backyard. I can't do anything of that. There's not a shower downstairs. There's so many multi-generational families that are out here. You know, the Asian community, big multi-generational family living, the Indian community, big multi-generational family. So if they're going to put ma and dad downstairs, they want a shower. We don't have a shower downstairs. You know what? It's very simple. You knock out the wall for $15K and you build a shower. I'll help you out. I'll even give you $5K towards it. They don't even want to touch it. They want
so the people that bought your house or gave you the verbal on it, were there any ridiculous requests like take the door stoppers off or change the doorknobs or something?
No, I got a quick phone call from our agent, and I call him Sex Appeal Neil, and it was simple. It was boom. It was better than what I could have imagined.
Nice.
Which you don't get very often without going into all the details of money and stuff like that. I mean, of course well, do you mind if we pay you more for the house? That would be, you know, it's not that, but it was very, very simple. It was boom, boom, and no this and no appraisal and no contingencies. And you got to be out in less than a month. I mean, we got to bust our ass to get out of this house because they want us out quick. I mean,
They didn't want any hallways widened.
No, always wide, always wide, no foyer walls.
Happy with the width of the hallways in the house. This has been the hardest selling point is the hallways are not wide enough. You invest about 200 grand, you can probably widen all the hallways.
And then I started sweating bullets because we found out it was between us and 2 other houses because there's more houses. When we first put this house on the market, there was 0 inventory. That's why we thought it was just going to fly off the shelf. But that wasn't the case for whatever, those reasons. And now with the spring market, there's more houses on the inventory, out there to buy. And so there are two other houses that they were looking at. So we're, Rach and I are creeping online and going to Zillow and we're looking at these houses. And we're like, it's a pretty nice house. It's like, I hope they don't pick that out. So we won. We beat the two other houses. We're badasses. We won. So it's just a different market. It's a different life. And I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I don't want to deal with it ever again. I just want to come home. That's all I want to do. I just want to come home. That's all.
So my neighbor is selling his house and they had an open house yesterday, and I don't want him to move because, like I said, me and him have been boys for a long time. So I went out there with a speaker and I blasted Ramstein during the open house, like blasted it. And it was just like, dude, Moss, like going crazy.
Oh, wow.
And every time somebody came up, the ring would go off. And he could hear it in the background, like blasting. And I was like, it's the only thing, it's like the only thing that I can think of where they're like, maybe the guy's a white supremacist next door. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know of any other music that could go that way, but I was like, Ramstein, why not? So I don't think he's going to sell it. I think if I keep blasting it, I'm going to keep him as my neighbor for a while.
Got to get you a Hitler statue in the yard to be good to go.
Just
I don't know. No. I was thinking about getting a Black Lives Matter sign and a Trump 2024 sign and putting them next to each other. Yeah, they'd be like, "What? I don't know who this guy is."
Yeah, Chuck, I don't think you're
everybody.
I don't think you're scaring anyone off Georgia by putting a Trump sign next to a house.
With the Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter and maybe like a rainbow flag, all of them next to each other. That way they don't know what they're getting.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen Step Brothers?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I did the Ramstein thing. I was like, this would work. And I think it's going to.
Yeah, like Branden said, you just walk around with your Hitler outfit on the wall. 9 days until I'm done. 9 everything. 9 this, 9 that.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying.
You dressing all blue and like fake that. It is dead. It must have been the asbestos. I don't know what. It's dead. So anyway, Poppy's doing better. We got a contract, a verbal agreement on the house, and so life is good. I mean, life is. We got Subber Lang going. I'm crushing in the poker room, especially now that I've moved up to 2.5. That was my mistake, playing below my skill set, is because you lose more money. That's what I was trying to tell you. I mean, I know we had a long, drawn out conversation, I think a week ago, but I don't want to go on a whole poker run again. But when you play with less money, you lose more money.
You play with pretzels.
Well, no, I'm talking like 50 cents a dollar, because nobody knows the value of a dollar. So when you're playing a 1-3 game and no one raises, then everybody's going to play for $3 because you don't know what the flop is going to come, right? You're going to have at least 2 people at the table with that mindset or more, Now, if you're at a 2-5 game, there's a very good chance at least one person is going to raise to $15. $15 is a lot different than $3. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the problem is a lot of the smaller games like 1-3, whatever, you're dealing with a lot of people. Some people never played poker before, so you have every skill level, every skill set at the table, and you just got to realize, okay, this is who I'm playing with. But if you're playing in a tournament that's for a lot of money, then yeah, you're going to be a lot more careful because you don't want to go out and you want to have some Bailey luck like you had apparently this weekend or yesterday or one day. I don't know when you did it, but it's just, I like to play with the novices, man. I like to hang with the guys that are just there learning the game.
You look like a novice.
I don't know why that sounds like an insult, because I've never been called a novice, but it sounds like Branden, if somebody walked up to you, like, you're such a novice, you don't even know what they're talking about, but you're like, screw you, dude.
Have you ever noticed?
He's like talking about killing someone. You're such a novice. Like, you screw you.
Have you ever noticed when you tell somebody something that they are, it always sounds like an insult?
Yes.
For example, you're just too nice, man. You're just too nice. What is that supposed to mean? I'm too nice.
Screw you, man. I'll punch you in the face right now.
What I'm saying is that you're being taken advantage of because you're too nice. Oh, and that's a bad thing, right? Well, you're a dick. You're an asshole all the time. At least I'm not you. Well, relax. This isn't about me. I'm just saying you're too nice. That's a compliment. Well, it sounds like you're being a dick. No, I just, yeah, I am, but no.
You know what's funny, Jason, is this is actually about you. Cause Brandon, tell me if I'm wrong, but Jason's one, he says he's not insulting. He'd be like, hey, you guys check your email? Cause you guys are really good at checking your email. Like when we don't answer them. And I'm like, he's really being like kind of aggressive right now. And he's like, no. Just, you guys are really good at it. You're really good at answering text messages. It's really good to see how well you guys communicate.
Can we get the same kind of response we get on the text? Can we get that on emails, guys? Let's just work with it a little more.
It's called passive aggressive. Is the term.
That's it.
And the reason I do that with you two, well, I do that with a lot of people because for whatever reason, I surround myself with very thin-skinned people. And I don't understand why. I guess I just can't find like-minded, tough freedom fighters like myself.
Fighters.
As he wears a mohawk.
It's not a mohawk. Oh, it is a mohawk. I'm Summer Lang, and I need you to subscribe to the BS podcast. TheBanditShow.com so we can give a sub to a homeless person this week. Today's your last freebie episode. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You don't know anything about the A-Team, do you, Brandon?
I've seen some parodies of it, and I've seen some sketches, but I really don't watch it. Obviously,
the A-Team was the shows in the early '80s. Right, you take the A-Team, and the Dukes of Hazzard. The A-Team and the Dukes of Hazzard had a lot in common. One thing in particular that was a common theme with a lot of shows, cartoons included, in the early '80s. Chuck, do you know what it is?
I'm going to say a lot of shooting and never any blood.
Boom. That's it. A lot of shooting and no one ever died.
Yeah.
Think about that. Dukes of Hazzard, right? You've seen the Dukes of Hazzard, right, Brandon?
Oh yeah. They're down in Hazzard County, them boys.
Them boys, right?
How many
times a show did a car flip over in a horrible tragic accident?
Oh, lots of times.
Every time, all the time. And every time, what happened? They got out and walked away. Right.
They climb out the window.
The A-Team hid machine guns in the back of their van under the floorboard, chrome, right? They bring it out and they would get in these huge gunfights. Bullets are flying everywhere. No one ever died. But explosions would happen very much like the Dukes of Hazzard car flips. You'd see a truck. Okay. And then they go over and they punch the bad guy. They always punch the bad guy.
Knock him out.
Another example, G.I. Joe, the cartoon, right? Grew up on G.I. Joe, Cobra Commander, Destro, all the guys, Duke, everybody. Scarlet, Storm Shadow.
Dusty.
What?
SpongeBob?
Dusty,
Roadblock, you name it. They were all there. Pew, 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 pew. You'd see the red, the blue going back and forth. Pew, pew, pew. Their bullets were lasers. Pew, 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 pew. No one ever got hit. It was great. Now kids are dying in shows that you watch at 3:00 in the afternoon on USA Network.
Yeah, it's more realistic though. It's like, I guess we realized, like, hey, come on now, we gotta show people what's really going on.
I don't mind Hollywood propaganda if it's positive. I have no problem with it. I mean, look what they did in the 50s and 60s, and now there are movements that are mad at them trying to build the idea of a perfect family on TV, and like, that's not real life. Okay, well, maybe not for everyone, but they're depicting a perfect scenario, which there's nothing wrong with trying to strive for that scenario. Who would not want to live in the Leave It to Beaver house? Who would not want to grow up in the Brady Bunch? I mean, that was a little edgy, right? The Brady Bunch was edgy because they had two more families from divorces or whatever the story is, and then, who screwed it up for everybody was Married with Children. When Married with Children came on, as great of a show as that was and still is today, that show really laid it out and go, okay, guys, this is actually what's happening in America right now. This is how we talk to each other, and this is what's happening. And they were the first really to do it, to kind of depict what the American house had become in the early 90s. But there's nothing wrong with that propaganda. I miss that stuff. I miss the stuff that you'd walk away with and go, it's not real, but that's okay. It's positive. Anything that's positive is good. So, but anyway, Poppy's doing great. The house has got a verbal contract. Probably by the time you hear this, it's got a contract. I'm Subber Lang. We're going to feed the homeless this week. I look amazing. If you're watching this episode on our YouTube channel at The Bailey Show, you can see this amazing outfit of overalls, gold chain, American flag sleeveless shirt, mohawk. I will not wear my glasses, and going out with Capriati's. So everything is good. I'm up at the casino, huge up at the casino, doing great in poker, having a great run. Just signed a deal with a company for this podcast that's going to get more ears and eyes on the product. We're working with this same company to do other things with this podcast, maybe coming to a radio station near you. I mean, just everything is going great right now. We get to move, thank God, and finally we get to move and get up out of here. This is great.
Are you gonna wear that outfit when you leave? Like as you're trucking, I want to see you in the airport wearing that.
Yeah, you got to wear that when you sell your house too.
Yeah, when you go to the signing.
Well, I've got an event after this I have to go to. I didn't have time to change. I just bought the house, so I have nowhere to change.
You guys joke like this is a bad outfit, like I won't do. Like this is my outfit from now on. Everybody needs a gimmick, and I've just been an average looking dude. This is my new gimmick. I'm this is me all the time now. Get you.
That'd be great. Just wait for the next year.
Who's the guy on the Pat McAfee show? He's got the porn stash and the mullet. He's got a look, which is awesome. I don't know who he is, but
I think isn't he the Pittsburgh Steeler fan?
Yeah. I think so. I think he's the Steelers guy. Yeah, it's pretty good. So life is good. Everything is growing great on the Bailey side of things. Everything, from what I understand, is going great on the Chuck side of things. He was just in the studio once again with Will Turpin of Collective Soul, finishing up some music for this upcoming huge album from Distinct Grace. The video for Worn is on a computer near you. You can download the song on a streaming service near you. It's a fantastic song. I love the video. It's great. Chuck out there wearing his OG Oakley women's volleyball sunglasses running around his backyard. It's very, very cute.
Hey man, I was, because we were talking about promotion in the studio, yes, or was it Friday? And I don't remember when we were in the studio. And we were finishing up the song, and they were like, "Look, man, you got to get on TikTok. Like TikTok is where it's at." And I said, "I've never done TikTok. I'm doing Instagram now. I'm doing this, but I got a guy that does it." Like, no, send us some videos. We're gonna put together some promos for. We're gonna show you how to do it. So I was like, "What do I need to do?" And they're like, "Just go out in the backyard, man, and just sing the song for us. Send it to us." And then I had the glasses on because I was coaching softball. so I'm out there, and that was, yeah. So it turned out really good. So we're gonna push that song until Memorial Day. So that's the date that we arrived on, was push Worn Out. It's a veteran song. It's relating to the veteran community. Push it out till Memorial Day, and then we're gonna release another single after Memorial Day. But that until Memorial Day, Worn is what we're pushing. And you guys are gonna be like, "Chuck, please stop." But it's going to be on all the social stuff because I'm, got to get it out there, man.
Got to promote
everything, right, Brandon?
Yeah, baby.
Chuck, do you consider me your friend?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends on. Yeah, sometimes.
I had to think about it.
Okay. Well, next time somebody offers up the idea of you with the sunglasses in the backyard, just get a second opinion. That's all I have.
I'll take my shirt off next time and suck it in.
And I will not hesitate, and I will tell you, I am your friend, and I will tell you, just rethink it. Maybe work with creative. Maybe storyboard it differently. That's all.
I'll send you the rough draft next time. I'll take a nice long one. I'll say, okay, this has got to go past it's got to pass the Jason test, and you'd be like, I don't like those glasses. The shirt doesn't look good with your eyes. You know, change the hat, and then I'll look good, and I can be a fashionista like you.
You look like the dad that when he picks up his kid at school, can't stop talking about when he went to school there and what he did because he wore the same sunglasses when he went to. That's what you look like. I pity the fool who does that. I pity the fool. Subscribe. Whoo. Anyway, so life is going great for me. Life is going great for Chuck. Branden,
What?
what have you done?
Oh man, dude, I've done exactly what I've planned to do.
Okay, so for those that aren't following the story, Branden started a while back accumulating a lot of followers on social media, over 1 million on Instagram, by doing goofy things, you know, giving tobacco to ants, trying to buy Chinese missiles, blowing stuff up, and this and this and that. I'm assuming during that run, I mean, I know you're not a strategic person, so I guarantee that this isn't all planned. But you, at some point in time, a light bulb went off and go, huh, people like this stuff. I need to continue to do it. This is my ticket. This is what I want to do. I remember 3-4 years ago, that's what you said that you wanted to do. You want to be a internet sensation, a social media guy. All the power to you. I wish you nothing but the best. So now you're finally getting it, and you started to accumulate these followers, and now you have this giant internet audience, which is great. So you're like, we've got to go over the top. I'll stop, and when I do, tell me if I'm wrong. We've got to go over the top. What are we going to do? We're going to, and for whatever reason, the internet was fascinated with this, we're going to dig a giant hole, fill it up with gasoline, and we're going to light it on fire. And out of that, you got over 1 million followers and people waiting with bated breath for you to light this hole with gasoline on fire. I still don't understand it to this day. Like, I've got 1 million things that I do on a daily basis. That would not be in the top 10 on my list. I got to tell you. So for all these people that were excited, I just wonder what they do on a daily basis. And then you go to pay it off. Everything needs a payoff, right? I always told you that. Everything has to have a payoff. And what was the payoff?
It was probably the greatest prank in Instagram history, honestly. I mean, this event's very anticipated. It drew probably over 200 million views across the series over the past month, and then we just kind of just faked it at the end. Obviously with it was obviously fake at the end. I don't know anyone stupid enough to believe that you can get away with pouring 10,000 gallons of gas in the ground and lighting it on fire, because we had 7 government agencies on us. We had fire marshal, the local detectives, we had EPA, DNR, ATF that were flying drones over the house, and then we had GBI and FBI on us. So I'm not going to prison, federal prison, for 10 years for these idiots for 1 million followers on Instagram. That's just, I mean, I don't know how you didn't see it coming. And to be truthful with you, if you didn't understand it was a joke to begin with, you don't need to follow me to begin with.
Wow. Okay. At what point in time during this process did you say, okay, we're not going to be like, I think at the beginning, you really wanted to light something on fire.
Well, at first I thought, but I mean, really when it got to day 4, I'm like, all right, yeah, we're definitely not doing this. And then when the EPA started chasing me down and stalking me, and then they started showing up at the house, I'm like, yes, guys, you idiots. I know I'm not going to actually do this. I know what the repercussions are. Everybody was cool. I want to say that. Everyone came and they're like, oh, yeah, it's cool and whatnot. But the only guy that was a dick was the DNR dude that came down here trying to scare me. And he was probably just mad that he had to drive 2.5 hours or away to come down here while someone's fucking his wife because he's a piece of shit. So
what's the DNR's stake in this? I don't understand the DNR part.
I think poisoning groundwater and killing local animals.
What is DNR?
Department of
Natural Resources.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Don't they do hunting and stuff? They care about like hunting.
Yeah, I don't know. They just wanted to get their hands in this shit, I guess.
All right.
They just wanted a piece of Branden.
They did. One of the government agencies, they're all like, one of us is gonna get them. we're gonna be fucking. The rest of the people will think we're not all fucking losers.
Well, it should make you feel better though. Like at some point, with all these different agencies, your name was a topic of, I always look at things like this. Your name and what you were doing was a topic of conversation in a meeting in their day, which you then took time out of their day in order for them to talk about you. Whether you'll ever know it or not, I take pride in those types of things. I've been doing that this past month or so. I know things that I've done and said, and I know the effects that it has, and I know living rent free is priceless. So take pride in that.
We're like Monopoly, man. We got condos all across the country, man. I mean, we're living in people's heads. There's like their full-time job now just to comment on my posts. Everyone that tries to defend me. There's one guy that's, I mean, he's been commenting for the past 24 hours, but no, I mean, we don't like the 3-letter agencies anyway. And the funny thing is, I know someone from each agency had to sit there and go through all my videos, listen to all the podcasts, and every podcast ends with our disdain, distrust, disdain's a word, right? In our government. So we like to bash them a good bit. So I'm sure they were happy listening to that. And they're probably listening to this. So you got extra, probably 7 subscribers.
You're going to have to start sending subs, man. Start sending subs out for that.
Well, yeah. Well, trust me, you and I kind of are in a very similar situation in different worlds, but I know, because I can track. And so if I know that I made somebody go to 1 extra therapy session or take 1 extra pill because of whatever disease they supposedly have or whatever problem they have, I take pride in stuff like that. Like, I'm that powerful of a person. You should take pride in that. Your prank did that, right? So
yeah, I've been smiling for the past 24 hours. I mean, I told the boys 3 weeks ago when we started this whole, I said, do not be surprised if we've got government agencies showing up to the house. And I'm very happy they did. They wasted their time. Fuck them. They don't do anything for us anyway. Get RFK in there after these 4 years and get him to disband all of them unless the CIA kills him like the rest of his family.
Well, now Brandon's getting political because of his Instagram stunt didn't go well.
No, it's going great. I mean, like I said, we have some of the highest engagement we've ever had. It's like over 20%, and I think we hit a world record on Instagram with the quickest million views, and it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
It's a world record. It's a world record.
If that's true, you should go to the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah.
I know. I need to hit him up and ask him about this. It was like 10, 15 minutes at 1 million.
And try to,
maybe you could get another certificate for the dumbest idea in history.
Actually, I got it. If you check your email ever, it's in there. I sent you the certificate. I made it for you.
No, the funniest thing is we got this guy that I worked with back during the Bud Light thing, the Bud Light scam that we did, joke, whatever you want to call it. He made t-shirts for us. So now he's making t-shirts and he's going to post it. I'm going to reshare it and say, look at this dumbass. He's making hate merch like anyone's going to buy it. And then hopefully a good bit of people will buy it and I get a percentage off that. So, and then I also made another account and I'm pretending to be a kid in there and I changed my voice a little bit, but it's terrible. But everyone's believing it. It's already at 1,000 followers. Same thing. Dig a hole till 1 million, fill up full of gasoline, light it on fire. And when that hits 1 million, I'm like, you fucking idiots, fell for it again.
So what did you do? I didn't see. I was trying to follow it when I was at the poker room. What did you do? The payoff was you went to go light it, and what did you just?
Oh, it blew up. We used some special effects, but I'm no Christopher Nolan, so it was kind of hard to see how it was real because it was a little rough. But I mean, regardless, I don't think people would have believed it. And even if they did, even if I would have, let's say I went and blew up this hole, burned down the house in the neighborhood, those people still would have unfollowed, which is ridiculous. And I'd be in federal prison for at least 10 years.
Mm-hmm. You have to understand, like, you have to adopt the wrestling mentality is that, the storyline might end, but there has to be an out in order to branch off to another storyline. You know what I mean? So when you have your payoff, you're right. You could have blown up this hole. Let's say you got busted or not, doesn't matter. You're never going to be able to satisfy the masses.
No.
It's just impossible. I love the idea that you did a prank. I am worried because the internet could be a very ruthless place and you're going to get some psycho in the Philippines that lived his entire life every day just waiting for you to blow up this hole, thinking that everything was real. That's all he had to live for. And then you let him down. He's probably on a flight right now to South Georgia, Noonan, Georgia, to find you and hunt you down and bite your face off or something. So
Brandon's gonna wake up and there's a truck out front and some dude like, I do it for you, Brandon. And boom.
There's a lot of people. They're like, yeah, I won't do it.
We're part of the Branden Brigade. We knew that the government wouldn't let him blow up the hole in his backyard because he was going to go to jail. Don't worry, we're under Filipino rule. We're going to do it for you.
We blow your house up. We blow your house up for you. No problem.
Start World War III. 20 years from now, everybody's going to go, what happened? Why did we send nukes? Some dumbass in South Georgia had a fan base on the internet, and some guy in the Philippines wanted to live out his dream of blowing up a hole. He did that. Putin saw it. He was like, oh, well, might as well shoot the rockets now.
Now, people will like, they'll send me my address and like my family members' names, and I'm just like, dude, you're not going to do anything. And if you do, you're going to leave in a body bag. So I wouldn't do anything too fucking stupid. You're going to get shot and killed. And I mean, you might get me, but at the same time, you're probably going to die as well. So let's just not worry about it a whole lot.
Wait a minute. Are you getting death threats?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, of course you're going to get death threats from their damn teenagers. They're all pissed off. You got some Germans speaking German in here. I said, I don't know what the fuck that means, dude. Get out of here.
Okay, so I'm to understand that you played an internet prank, and because you did not blow up a hole filled with gasoline and people were too dumb to not realize that you were not ever going to do it, they're so angry at you that they're threatening you?
Yeah, I think it's not so much they're angry at me. I think they're angry at themselves for how fucking stupid they are.
But they're actually writing you and like saying, this is your name. Are they like, they're saying your family's name, your address. They're sending that to you with threats.
Yeah, well, they're saying like, I know where you live, like fuck you, and they'll be posted. I think my both addresses and somehow my grandma's address for some reason they posted in the which was the one in Kentucky, but they posted in the comments. I'm like, you're not gonna do anything, and if you do, it's gonna be really bad for you. So I had to make. That's why I made that video last night. I was like, dude, I get some of y'all are mad and you're just talking shit, but if anyone does try to come, it's got to be a shootout.
Well, Chuck, we're going to have a really good upcoming episode without Branden. And just to talk about how
I can't even. It's a lot. That's a lot to digest, man. Like, there's a lot to unpack.
I don't think I'm taking advice from you anymore on social media. My whole family.
No, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I can't even like. I mean, it's one thing if it was like you were being political or you were talking about a certain gender or class. But dude, at the end of the day, you were talking about a stupid hole that you're trying to get a Guinness record for the most likes, and it's a hole that you're going to blow up with. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Branden, you are right, though. You are right. That's pretty smart of you to notice why people get angry. People get angry when they get got, right?
Yeah,
and that's it. I mean, it could be anything. Definitely with pranks. I mean, you saw things that I did over the years. I love pulling pranks. My pranks are very strategic. They're long. They're thought out. I mean, Redneck Rabbit. I mean, that's the most infamous prank, probably the best April Fool's stunt possibly done ever in radio, definitely in Atlanta radio. That was a brilliant bit, but
the monolith was a great one. That made the news. And when people found out on the Facebook page, it had like over like 600,000 views on the Facebook page. And so many people were pissed off because they got, we cut it open and it says, Merry Christmas from Bailey and Southside. And people were just mad that it wasn't real. They're like, y'all are so stupid. You're idiots. They're like, no, you're just mad because you thought it was real.
Right. When people get got, back to the Redneck Rabbit, the person that I did it to, his brother supposedly still to this day, like wants to fight me and all these other things. Like, because it was a joke. Like, anytime that I get got, and I've gotten got before, you can't get mad because then it makes you look even worse, right? You have to take a step back and go, you got, whether you found it funny or not, as long as it's not disrespectful and crossing a line, It's got to be funny. There's a difference. There's that great scene in Private Parts, Howard Stern's Private Parts, where the Asian guy comes up to him when he and his wife are having lunch and goes, "I like your radio show. It's very funny, but don't make funny," or something like that towards the Asian people, saying like, don't make fun of who they are, have fun with who they are. There's a difference, a mentality difference. So you are correct. I remember I did a prank. This was another one it was an April Fool's prank. I was at WJRR in Orlando, a rock station. I was doing afternoons, and the morning show, which was the Fiasco. They're still on the air. Pat and Taco, Pat Lynch and Taco Bob, great guys, phenomenal dudes. And they had a girl on their show. I forget her name, but they just brought a girl on their show for the first time. They were trying to build the show up, and she was very cool. Lana, I think Lana, maybe. She'd come from 98 Rock in Tampa, which I was there as well. And I went to him, and the program director, Pat Lynch, was also the host of the morning show. He and I were having real life heat, but again, you do what's best for business. You put that personal stuff aside and you try to take those feelings and you turn it in something creative in order to satisfy the masses in the audience. So you benefit, everybody benefits. So I go to him and I say, I got this idea. And, you and I are having some issues. By the way, our issues, he was right and I was wrong. I was just a young punk kid with a big head, big ego, trying to make it. And he had been in the business a lot longer and he knew much more than I did. And I fought him on everything. I was wrong. He was right, just for the record. And so I was like, hey, look, I know you and I are having problems, but I got this idea that we could cross promote the shows, because I was needing some cross promotion for my show, as probably him too. And I said, here's the idea. What if I go on the air and say that I have come across a sex tape, and it involves somebody that works in this building. I'll just say in this building. And then as time ramps up, because Branden, my pranks and jokes are like long, like months I start planning them months in advance, start setting the seed, planting the seed. and then I'll start to, as we get closer to April Fools, people aren't going to think about April Fools because I'd start talking about it so early that I'll then say it's the girl from your show. And I don't know what to do, but I think, you should see it, that kind of thing. So they loved it. So we were going back and forth and we were taking jabs, like they were trying to protect her. So we polarized the audience, which he did not like. And I am a fan of polarization. I think polarization is good when you're trying to promote. What?
If I say it works, if I say right now, everyone's polarized on, everyone hates me for a good bit. But a lot of people are coming to my support and that's good. So then they start arguing in the comments and clashing and there we go.
You have them protect you, right? You have them go after you, just as I would expect any two peer. I remember not that long ago where I worked, you're upset that the show changed. I didn't say anything to anybody. I didn't tell anybody to do anything. You guys did it on your own. And I was flattered. I got in a lot of trouble, but I was flattered. I was told that I was perpetrating all of it, but that wasn't true. That kind of thing.
You're pulling a January 6th.
Right. They just thought that I had control of all these people and stuff. And I don't tell people what to do. And so when the day came to release the tape, I forget how we released it, but it was clever. And this was the early stages of video. This wasn't anything you could do on your phone, right? You had to have somebody do it. And it was a thing. And it was like her in the bedroom. And we had like some dildos and stuff, and it started to get weird and freaky. And then it cut, and then it was all of us together, and we go, April Fools, that kind of stuff. But it infuriated some people. Like they were angry, really, really mad. I remember getting death threats, like because I got them. They did not understand it was a joke. Think about that just for a second. Just think about that. I got death threats because I played an April Fool's joke about a sex tape with a girl. How silly is that? Just like in Branden's case, he's getting death threats because people thought he was actually going to light thousands of gallons of gasoline in a hole. Why is he getting the death threats? you should be death threatening yourself because you were stupid to realize that it was a bit.
Yeah, that's really what it comes. They realize how dumb they are after that. They're like, what else have I believed was a lie? Does my wife really love me? Was that really her gay best friend that slept over that one night? Oh man, but there's a lot of people that still support you, but the most vocal ones are the haters, and haters make you famous, so you gotta have them. Gotta have them.
I saw that post. You just stole that. I saw somebody posted that somewhere.
What?
It was a meme. Haters make you famous.
Oh, I've been saying that for years.
Yeah. I thought I liked that. I was gonna get that tattooed on me.
On the forehead.
No, I can't.
Right below your cap.
No. This is not a cap. This is a real mohawk that
I see that now. Yeah, I see you cut your hair. That's cool.
Is this considered racist?
Oh, you got like black head.
Yeah.
Black. You got.
No, your scalp's white.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a question when I was thinking of being this character, Subber Lang. Is it in bad taste if I have? It's not like a full black head. It's kind of a.
It's olive.
Yeah, you're like an Italian.
Yeah, I think if you went like a full black head, then that's racist.
Yeah, like face and all, right? Yeah, sure.
I mean,
No, just the head.
If your face was that same color, you'd probably get away with it.
Well, I'm Subber Lang, and Subber Lang is a fictional character that's white with the exception of his head is black.
Yeah. I think it'd be okay. I think you'd be all right.
Well, I hope we'll find out when I go and feed the homeless with the Capriati self-defense.
Yeah, I just don't think racism is one of those things. I don't think racism is one of those things where you're like, you know what, you'll probably be okay. You will probably be fine. I wouldn't worry. You know what? Just go to a community that's primarily Black Americans, and you'll be fine. See what they say. I don't think that's something you want to roll the dice with.
Well,
that's funny too. Also, I see people.
He said, "Well, well, that's what I'm doing."
Give me a 4. And if there's anyone that's going to be vocal, it's going to be the unhoused. Watch. I just know somebody's going to like try to fight me. Like, okay, you're bringing out these meat subs. You know damn well I'm a vegetarian, and you come out with blackhead. Who do you think you are?
Like, how do you have a phone and no home? You comment these things.
Just because we don't have a house doesn't mean we're going to put up with this world. It's not happening. You had your 4 years.
Oh man. No, I was thinking about doing like the thing you were talking about, the sex tape though. I was thinking about getting a couple girls and like boosting them, and then like have a OnlyFans release and then get the OnlyFans going and then just have them like sitting there with like maybe no bra on or something, but just have a sign that says follow Branden Thrasher or something like that.
Or just have them massaging your feet.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Well, the funny thing about that is, you actually, there's a fetish for everything. I mean, you might find a fetish for people that have hot chicks holding signs, right? I mean, like instead of making it, I'm serious. Instead of making it
why aren't we doing that?
They want to stand naked holding a sign, whatever you want it to say on OnlyFans. When we hit 10,000 OnlyFans subscribers, we'll get a hot chick instead of me.
Well, I always thought it would be funny, and I think people would actually pay to watch it because it's so stupid, is to have an OnlyFans account and just every time you post, you just hold up a different fan. And like, these are my only fans that I have, like literally a fan. I know it sounds stupid and punny and a dad joke, but like if you add the hot element to it, you find a good looking girl to do it. And she doesn't even have to show her face. You know what I mean? Just have a hot chick holding a different fan every time. And she's sitting there blowing whatever.
Whatever. Subber Lang.
Subber Lang tells you to blow whatever. I pity the fool who doesn't blow whatever. Subscribe to the Bailey Show podcast, thebailey.com. Subs for subs and blow whatever. Blow whatever. I'm just saying. Branden, you have another one question for?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
One question with Branden.
Let's go, Brandon. All right, good.
Okay. How different would the Revolutionary War be if the Americans had one AR with 1,000 rounds of ammo?
Oh, a game changer. Absolutely.
What do you think? You think it'd be quicker? Get it done quicker? You think we would have really started maybe attacking other people? We're like, look at this gun we got. I mean, what differences would the Revolutionary War have and America have? They had a AR, 1,000 rounds back then.
Well, Revolutionary War, they're still, playing drums and meeting up at the corner street and standing up, right? Or is that just the Civil War?
No,
Yeah,
that's
no, you're
revolutionary.
right. Yeah.
They're like, all right, you get over there 10 feet away. We'll load, shoot each other, and we'll do that again until one
Guys,
side.
get as close together as possible. Get as close together as possible. It gives us the best chance to win. No, I need shoulder to shoulder. Okay, it's harder to hit you that way.
Right. Okay. So I am right. That's the Revolutionary War, right? Revolutionary War. William Wallace. No, not William Wallace. Yeah. Yeah. No. The Patriot, right? The movie The Patriot. That's Revolution.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Right, Mel Gibson. Yeah. It would be a game changer because you just go out there and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna shoot first and we're gonna just mow them all down. I don't think the next line is gonna stick around for much longer, to be honest with you.
I don't know. 1,000 rounds is only 1,000 rounds. I think you gotta use those rounds very, strategically. And maybe you have a sniper and he used those 1,000 rounds, take out the heads. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think it's really gonna change the game. I mean, we have the AR, or they have we both have an AR.
The Americans just have an AR. Maybe.
Well, dude, we won. We won. So what could be changed, right?
Could we have went crazier? Like we could we have murdered them quicker?
So like we took over Britain.
Yeah, like we do that. Like we're gonna save the rest of this ammo and go over there and kill the 1,000 Brits that are there. That should be enough to take over.
What I'm saying, is that once you mow down, like they realize that you have this crazy gun, like they're not going to want to. They wouldn't want to fight. So what would have changed? Obviously, we would not want the outcome to have changed, but what would have changed is I think less people would have died.
I think they would have tortured them more.
No, okay. You get to that one battle, whatever the big battle. What name a big battle or whatever? You got to stop them from crossing a bridge, or whatever the case may be. And you bring out, the AR, and then you mow out the front line, and you take out, let's just say 100 people, and you still have 900 rounds left. Just take out 100, and they all retreat, and then word gets around that the Americans have this crazy weapon. There's going to be some negotiation happening.
Yeah, but word to get around back then took like 7 months. You know what I mean? Like it was like, there'd be another battle like 6 miles down the road and they're like, hurry up and go over there and tell them. And the way the telephone game works, they'd be like, they were shooting. We don't know what it was. We don't know anything. I just don't think it would work. I think you'd have to, we just have to take over England to make it any better.
Well, to answer your question, Brandon, if we had an AR during the Revolutionary War, what would change? I think it would have been revolutionary. The changes.
I don't know. I kind of feel like one of them might have tried to take over the founding fathers. They might have been like, all right, look, fuck y'all. I can kill y'all right now and not have to reload once every 3 minutes.
Dude, I'd rather have 3 grenades. 3 grenades in the Revolutionary War would have been legit.
Than an AR with 1,000 rounds?
Yeah, man. Could you imagine what one grenade, like Jason saying 1,000, like mowing 100 of them down? If you had like a little coconut in your hand and you threw it and it blew them up, they'd be like, okay, this is legit, right? I mean,
what the fuck was
that? Exactly. Give me 3 grenades, man. I'm changing the world.
You think you would have ended the war with 3 grenades? Chuck?
He's not going to
not ended, but
when did
it up.
Didn't we have the
Gatling gun?
Gatling gun. That Gatling gun was around during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but that thing's big and bulky.
I don't think it was. It was around in the Civil War.
Yeah, I think it was a Civil War thing.
I don't know.
Even then, it's big and bulky. It's hard to move around. You got to have a damn donkey to pull the shit.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger carried one in Terminator.
He did.
He did. Yeah.
It was badass too.
That was the one off that was one off like a helicopter, wasn't it? Like a new version.
Yeah, he just
That was a
pulled.
minigun, not a Gatling gun.
He just yanked it off. He was like, "Whoa." Yeah. That's what I would do too. With someone laying, I'd take a Gatling. Yeah, that's right. The best one is from Tombstone at the end when they mow down Alex's house and Billy the Kid and the gang's all in there.
That's Young Guns, not Tombstone.
Yeah, Young Guns 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good one. And then he gets his arm up on the horse and shoots him finally in the head. And
Yeah.
rides away.
Yeah.
Love those movies.
Yeah. So there you go. Answer your question. It would I think it would have changed something. Absolutely. Sure.
I think it would have ended quicker. They'd been scareder, or certainly would have changed
Scared her.
something.
It'd be scared. They'd have been much scareder.
So I'm part of the American side and I'm not scared her at all. But if I'm on the other side and I were to see that type of firearm, I'd be extremely scared her. I can tell you that right now.
There's
Fuck your
nothing
grandma,
scareder
Brett.
than that.
Just scared her pants. Just totally scared her pants. Absolutely scared her pants. All right. Let's finish things up. Okay, one last promo for the Freebay episode. I pity the fool who doesn't subscribe to you guys gotta like this. Like, this is cool, man. This outfit is cool.
I'm trying.
Hey, when I got on, man, I laughed for, I don't know, 30 seconds
I had
straight.
a chuckle. I liked it.
All right. I pity the fool who doesn't subscribe to the BS podcast. Go to thebailyshow.com. It's subs for subs, but it ends tomorrow. Yeah. You're dead meat if you don't subscribe to the Bailey Show podcast to get fresh meat for the homeless in the subs. TheBaileyShow.com with Capriati Sandwich Shop. Subs for subs. I don't like to fly. I was in WrestleMania 1.
I just don't understand the
I get a lawnmower going.
That's what he did, right? That's what he did. He always, My mama said that you need to subscribe to the Bailey Show podcast. And I pity the fool. And if you don't do it, I'm coming to your house and I'll make you dead meat. Dead meat. Get fresh meat for the homeless. It's good.
I think it'll work. It'll work.
I'll go check the subscribers here in a minute. see if they went up. All right, Brandon, you got anything before we get out of here?
If you work for a job with 3 letters and you're in the government and it's an agency, I don't like you.
Okay. And Chuck.
Check out my sunglasses anywhere, any social media. I'll try to change them up and not be a softball player.
Chuck, were you a part of a government agency with 3 letters? No, Homeland Security.
I was a part of like 4.
Okay, so Brad, no, I was like earlier in the episode. I'm going. I think Chuck might be taking offense to this because I think
No, I'm not anymore, man. I don't care. They're all, yeah, you're good, dude.
He
You're
doesn't
good.
stand for those dumbass ideals they have there anymore.
actually
I don't.
Chuck
They
was the one,
he wants them gone too.
no, Brandon. Actually, Chuck was the one that called him to your house.
He's about to go up and kill me and raid me tonight. He's still in the ATF. I just don't know.
They're gonna make him a source, man. You're gonna be an informant soon.
Did Bill stop
Black
by?
light.
Because Bill's Chuck's best friend, and he's still. Oh no, Brandon. Chuck is still deeply involved in the CIA. He's still very deeply involved in the CIA, and he speaks Cantonese. Yes, he does.
Get a black site in Zimbabwe.
All right. Give us a like, share, follow on all socials. You can get all that information on thebailyshow.com. For those that watch or listen to the Honey, I Raised the Kids podcast that my wife and I release on Mondays here on the network. We didn't have one this past week. I explained it on social media, but because of circumstances, she was not here. I hope you understand. Hence, with the newsletter, I wasn't able to get it out. It was a rough go. So we're getting everything back on track, and thank God, Poppy's good. By the way, also on all of my social medias, not just my personal stuff, but on the show one, I forwarded a link. A lot of you asked if there's anything that you can do. There's this really cool website, and what it does is, you can, if you're trying to help somebody, like you have the GoFundMe's and stuff like this, but this one you can like buy a meal, and which is really, really cool. And I feel so much better about asking people to do that because people care. YouTube peers care. And I know actually, one person in particular because they were going through something too. Hold on. Aaron Thomas. Aaron Thomas is a two-peer, and Aaron Thomas, his dad had a stroke a couple weeks ago. He's still in ICU. So we're praying for you, Aaron. We're praying for your family, and we're praying for your dad. But Aaron still took time out, and he did this meal thing for my family, which I thought was very, very sweet. So thank you very much, Aaron. You're a good man. That was very, very nice. But you can get the link on on our Facebook page. It's there. You just scroll down. You'll find it. It's there if you want to contribute. The newsletter, you can sign up via thebaileyshow.com. The YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. Subscribe to that. That's all free. And also merch. I don't know if they still have the deal going on right now, but they always have gimmicks going on there for the merch shop. So until next time, we'll talk to you then. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here." What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com.
Yeah, baby.